Good evening, viewers. Welcome to our show, Beyond the Broomstick, where magic will flow. I'm Nikhil, alongside Samuel. We'll be your guide, exploring the world of witches side by side.
In this enchanted realm, the truth shall unfold. The witches exist in reality, as we are told. So buckle up, viewer. We'll venture deep on a magical journey. Let's take a peek.
For centuries, witches have been pushed to the sidelines of pages of fairy tales and portrayed in stereotypes, but no more. Sam, what do you think when you hear the word witches?
I guess I imagine like, an old woman, crooked nose, black hat, flying on a broomstick somewhere or something.
Yeah, I imagine the same thing. It's a shame that we don't have one here to compare. You think we could find one?
You know, actually it's a lot harder than you think to find a witch. In fact, we went to the Baltain festival exactly for that reason. And the funny thing is, you know what? Actually, I should just show you. Let's see what happened. The Baltain, one of the most important Gallic seasonal festivals. Historically, this event holds deep connections to the spiritual and the occult. It was held in order to appease the fairies and other magical creatures of the forest in order to protect the crops and livestock. Today, witches who observe the Wheel of the Year, a sort of calendar for witchcraft, celebrate Baltain as the height of spring. As such, it is the perfect place for us to begin our investigation into the topic of real witchcraft. Unsure where to begin this search, we got in touch with the founder and his wife to find out more. This is Hans and Masha Plum. Hans is an activist, author, and the founder of this village, which he helped save from demolition in the 60s. With Masha, they are the leaders of this community.
Looking for the original human. What do you do if there is no pressure from outside to make things, to buy things, to work? If there's no pressure, what comes out? Hopefully a creative guy.
This place is a village with a lot of studios for all kinds of artists, but actually also people who want to create together, make things happen, as for example the festival that we are in right now.
People did for 50 years what they liked, and the outcome is this village, and it's beautiful. I mean, so it means if you don't bother too much, if you just try to keep the good vibe going, and people can make their gardens, and that's a kind of way that I think for the future can be very useful if technology doesn't conquer our joy. Yeah.
So, what's happening here is not a gathering of witches after all. But what about that strange sign seen all around? That seems pretty witchy.
But the thing on the tower is our symbol.
This is a lemniscaat.
Lemniscate, okay.
And this is the letter psi, male
Female.
and a female.
Oh, I see.
So it means when the female and the male unites, the eternal spirit smiles.
Yeah, the spirit is like that good old spirit, Wakantanka, and whatever you call it. You can call it Buddha, you can call it Jesus, whatever. But for us, it has no name for me.
It's love, actually.
It's love, basically.
It's all about love and, helping each other up and not putting each other down. It always quickly sounds very like la li la li la, but actually it is just super simple. It is simple, it's grounded, and it's in all of us.
A poem!
Yes, it's nice to close with a poem.
Yeah, okay, don't fuck around. The way you go up is the way you go down.
So, there were no actual witches at this Baltain festival, making this first outing, let's say, not entirely successful. However, what we did find was still something very special and valuable. A hidden gem, a place dedicated to art, freedom, and life. Nevertheless, our search for witches continues.
Hans Plum, huh? Didn't he write a book about psychedelics?
Actually, you know what? He did. Out your ball. But how exactly do you know that is my question.
Yeah, community of artists and all that, but no witches?
You know, it's a lot harder than it sounds to find an actual witch.
So, no witches?
My guy, I'm gonna find a witch. Don't you worry about that.
Sure, but I bet I can find more than you.
Witch, please! You're on.
Cool. Guess what?
What?
I already found one. Her name is Hella, and she explains the mysteries of the future by using coins. So without any further ado, let's take a look. Oracles such as tarot are tools used for divination. They are often used as a means of seeking guidance, understanding, or spiritual enlightenment, with tarot being the most well-known and most widely used forms of oracle. Meet Hella, a witch and a druid priestess with some interesting animals. She has 4.5 cats, but the most interesting animal, of course, Trixie. She will educate us on Wicca, witchcraft, and her coin-based oracle, Raven Coins. She being Hella, not Trixie.
I learned about Wicca quite early in my life, around my 12th or 13th year, when I read about modern witchcraft in an encyclopedia, and I was like, wow, witches are real. And mind you, there is a difference between Wicca and witchcraft, as in all Wiccans are witches, not all witches are Wiccans. Wicca is a more or less organized religious form of spirituality, whereas witchcraft is basically anything that people want to make of it.
As Hella mentions her path to Wicca and witchcraft, she shared with us what caused her to stray away from the religious environment that she was raised in.
In my very early 20s, I read the Malleus Maleficarum, and that is it's basically a how to find witches and kill them. So when I read that book, I was like, if this is what a Christian culture brings forth to suppress and kill basically women, then I don't want any part of that.
Hella explains the different meanings and nuances of Raven coins, her coin-based oracle that she has created herself, which very interestingly came to her in a dream.
I can show you, I will show you. It's an oracle based on coins instead of cards. So these are the Raven coins. I was dreaming that I went to a modern witch in Germany, the Black Forest in Germany, that I've never been to in real life. And she told me to work with an oracle based on coins. So when I woke up, my first thought was, oh, I want to have that oracle. My second thought was, hang on, does it even exist? Because I've never found it. So I did some searching and it didn't exist. And that was when I realized that I had to make this oracle, and that's what I did.
Hella offered to do a reading for us to get a better idea of how the readings work. We begin with me asking a question while shaking the coins. She drops them at the end of the question, and the placement of the coin determines the path of the answers. If I had come to her as a skeptic, I wouldn't have left as one, as the reason is she told me things not only that I've done, but also exposed my thoughts, which definitely left me pleasantly surprised, to say the least.
You have to make a choice there in order to find.
I have a better understanding of oracles, and now have met a witch as well.
Interesting stuff. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed. But you know, I can't help but wonder, what did she actually say to you?
Well, I wasn't expecting her to outright expose me, as I asked a very shallow question as to, like, whether would I find love this year. She did give me an answer that I will find love this year, like, according to my path, but she also told me that I spent a year in solitude that I told no one about. She also told me about thoughts that I never, not even told someone, I never even said out loud, which definitely gave the reaction that you just saw.
Interesting. I mean, honestly, I wasn't expecting it to be quite so accurate, but like, honestly...
Wait, hold up a second. I think you're trying to distract me here. Tell me, did you find a witch?
As a matter of fact, Nikhil, I did, and she's much closer than you might think. Let's see that.
Hearing of a witch who practices alchemy and herbalism,
most imagine a secluded hut in the woods, surrounded by nature, where an old woman stands and stirs the contents of a big, blackened pot. Imagine our surprise then, when we came to find that there is such a witch right here, in Breda, living and operating a small shop of witchcraft. Her name is Elinda, and the place is called the Martok. Naturally, we had to investigate.
So, how did you come about opening a witch store or a spirituality store?
Yeah, I did a study to study herbs, and then I worked in some kind of store like this, but they only sold a lot of herbs, and I found it so interesting how you can help people, especially people that the doctor couldn't help anymore, and how much you could do for people. And so some other woman came onto my path, and she already worked in such a shop like this. So we bundled together and started this shop 16 years ago. A lot of people have different thoughts at a witch, and most of people, especially in the Netherlands, they think very from a fairy tale, and it's very negative. You see a very old lady and does magical negative things. But it's much more important, and that people know that a witch is somebody who has a lot of knowledge about how nature or things from nature can heal people.
So Elinda's been doing this for a while now. But what is it really like, being a witch in modern society?
You see a lot of books at this time at manifestation. It's very important that we learn those skills. A lot of those skills you don't learn in schools. But it's so important in the rest of your life, how you see yourself in this world, how you manifest, how you visualize what you're going to do in this world. And these things help you focus.
So we managed to find a real witch. In the end, the things she told us about were less akin to a potion class at Hogwarts and more of a way to channel your inner will. Naturally, it is difficult to definitively say whether these methods are really supernatural, and we are all invited to come to our own conclusions. However, what we can say for sure is that Elinda is nothing like the stereotypical fairy tale witch. Rather, she's a person trying to help people find their inner will to face their struggles, and that's something both a witch and a muggle can appreciate. That's one for me.
Fair.
And you know what else? She also gave me this.
What the hell is that?
This, my friend, is a hematite. And actually, she gave it to me in the store. This is a rock made up mostly of iron that's supposed to be able to ground you. So I thought it would be nice if we could have a bit of a live test here in the studio with you.
Okay, let's go.
All right,
what are we gonna do?
So stand up.
Okay.
So what we're going to do now, I'm going to place this rock between your feet on the ground.
Okay.
All right? And, well, you just tell me if you feel anything, all right?
Absolutely.
All right. You ready?
Yep.
Anything at all?
I wasn't feeling anything at first, but I slowly I can feel the weight of my feet. I can feel the gravity acting on the...
Wait, for real though?
Yeah, I can. I don't know if it's a placebo effect.
That's exactly, because I had the same thing, and I wasn't sure if it was a placebo effect. What exactly are you feeling? What's the exact sensation?
Well, I feel the gravity pulling down on the weight of my shoes.
Interesting. Well, all right. In any case, it's a fascinating
It's
thing.
definitely a placebo, because as soon as you... Wait. You're trying to distract me here.
What do you mean?
You're trying to keep my eyes off the prize. But I have one more witch up my sleeve.
All right.
Drum roll, please. That was horrible. Fenna, just do your thing. Our fascination to communicate with those beyond the physical realm has a deep-rooted history. Throughout this history, various cultures have incorporated drums in rituals and ceremonies, such as traditional African drumming and Native American shamanism, to name a few. To find out more about Wicca, witchcraft, and rituals related to shamanism, we meet with Karine, a medium who practices witchcraft and shamanistic rituals for incorporating spirituality into her daily life, as well as the lives of her children and those around her.
I developed my own kind of spirituality. I'm not like a Wiccan or a shaman, I'm just me. And everything that resonates with me, I use in my daily life. The witchcraft I use is purely to keep out negativity. I have a lot of herbs and flowers dried in a house. I mix it, shamanism and witchcraft, and then make it my own.
Out of all rituals, the most prominent ritual of them was the drum ritual. She shares with us the intuitive process of making the drums.
I didn't do anything special, it's just you need to feel in your heart what you do, something that's inside you already. And I think it's from one of my past lives that I've just, because when I first got one in my head, I was like, oh, I knew you for a long time. And you connect with the animal, you connect with the wood.
We asked her to elaborate on how the drum rituals have helped her in the different aspects of her life.
It is such a big part of my life now because it keeps me calm and it keeps me focused on my goals in life. It helps me with raising the children. Our little daughter is already very interested, and she says almost every evening, Mom, can we play the drums? Because she hates school. It's too much for her. And when she plays her drum, she can release that. So she already said to me, Mom, can I please make my own drum? So we made it together. But I would really love her to make drums when she grew up.
The process of making the drums not only relies on feeling and intuition, but also purpose, such as what the drum is for, who is it for, and why they are using it.
When you have a drum, you have to be a team with it. So it needs to fit you like a glove. Talking to spirit, my spirit guides, spirit ancestors. Can you help me making this drum? Which skin do I need from which animal? Which wood do I need?
We now seem to have a better understanding as to why drums have been so integral in rituals.
I'm really loving with it. It's kind of crazy for some people. But it's still a spirit. It's a deceased animal, but it can still tell me where it lived, what it did, if it was a pet or if it was an animal that lived in nature. So I connect with the animal, I connect with the wood, because you can also connect with trees and plants and all living things on earth, and I let them guide me in the process of making the drum.
The rhythmic beat puts those around it in a trance-like state, and these rhythmic patterns serve as healing tools to restore balance, harmony, and vitality. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I just won the bet.
Well, I never heard of a drumming witch, certainly, but all right.
Well, didn't you hear? She's not exactly a witch. She's more of a spiritual...
Wait. So you did not win the bet.
Well, it's a technicality. You could argue it both ways, because most witches have a different idea as to what it means to be a witch.
You know what? You just keep telling yourself exactly that. But what remains true is that she definitely does not look what you imagine witch to look like, and in fact, neither do any of the people that we featured here today.
Exactly my thoughts. I suppose today we broke some of the stereotypes and proved that modern witches and people interested in spirituality are not what we expect them to be.
That's exactly right. Well, folks, our magical adventure has come to an end. We're so happy you could attend. But now, it's time to bid adieu. We're so happy we could entertain you. Goodbye, farewell, farewell.
Abracadabra, alakazam, wherever the witches are, that's where I am.